Well, this is episode 361 of the 3-Point Freak Off. You got that, guys? P. Diddy, the whole trial. I always like to throw something funny out there. Maybe it's not funny, but my goodness.
What a bizarre story that's been, man.
And it's only
we
starting.
We haven't really talked about that, but what a weird, I was, it's funny. This is random. I don't mean to derail you right as you're enjoying the pod, but
no, do it.
I was sending a song of R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly. I mean, what a great song. And here's the thing. Sometimes you got to separate the artist from the art. And that's what I live by. Kanye, he's off a whole nother stratosphere of weird. But then I was going through and I was listening to some of my songs, and I had some Diddy songs, and I was listening to Bad Boy for Life, and I was like, this one kind of does not hit the same as some of these other ones. This one definitely maybe didn't age as well. So I don't know. It's just weird, man.
I mean, listen, Jared, it's my whole generation, childhood, teen years growing up. It's Diddy. It's everyone affiliated with him. Not everyone, but a lot of people. It's whatever the heck's going on with Britney Spears. He was an icon growing up. It's Chris Brown. What did I see? He got arrested over in London apparently, and he's he got denied bail, so he's basically stuck over there right now. And obviously, so to your point, because I like a lot of Chris Brown's music. I like a lot of Diddy's music or the stuff that Diddy produced, and it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of, we talk about Tedtertainment tonight. There's a lot of actors and actresses that stuff has come out over the years, but you have a list of their films or TV shows that you love. And then you go back and watch them, and it makes it tough to watch because you're oh, geez, what they were doing behind the scenes or whatever. So it's a shame. It's probably why people talk about not putting these people up on pedestals. No human is perfect, and some of those people are far from perfect.
And it's already starting to go into I don't think Bieber is ever going to be what Diddy did. I mean, Diddy did seem to hang around him a lot, and there's some weird videos of that. But Bieber seems to be doing rough right now.
Yeah, he does.
So it's I don't know. I wonder who all those guys will be come my generation. Bieber is the first one that comes to my mind when I think about that. Man, something's not right with him right now. And then it comes out that he's bankrupt. He had to sell all of his music catalog to basically pay off some things. I don't know. It is sad when you have that realization.
Yeah, I mean, mental illness or drugs or whatever it is that's going on with these people, it's just crazy.
Well, and and again, man, look at what you do when you start off the podcast.
I know. I like to surprise you guys with a little tidbit.
And I've watched a couple little things on this whole Diddy thing. I've read a couple little articles. I admittedly have not done the deep dive to know all the details, but I did see something that there's some weird stuff coming out about a doctor that was connected to him and Kanye. You brought up Kanye, Britney Spears, and a bunch of other people, and the amount of drugs that was going around, that there was a lot of foul play going on with doctors, physicians that they trusted were doing stuff too. So it's not just the freak, the parties that you brought in. There's a lot of other stuff. And I mean, this trial has only just begun, right? So who knows what's going to come out? I mean, you don't want to throw out allegations, but there's LeBron James potentially is connected somehow, because him and Diddy used to be good friends or whatever. So you're geez, is there some sort of weird connect? Is something going to come out about him? Obviously AZee is another one. So it's is Beyonce also connected? J-Lo? It's just kind of where is this going to end?
Every celebrity.
Right.
Yeah. That's why we always think that nothing's going to happen. That's my, I think this is going to be a whole long drawn out trial. And my prediction is Diddy's going to be, I don't know. I'd be shocked if he's actually does serious time behind bars.
Yeah. Maybe I think he's going to, I guess. I really think he's going to, all the other connections. I don't know. What are they going to dig up on other people unless they have photo evidence of stuff going on, but.
Well, they must have something pretty strong that they haven't allowed him out of jail on bail. They're worried about him heading out of the country. So it's weird.
Yeah, I'm not if this was set in 1993, would this be the OJ thing? All over again? To me, it's I'm not dialed into this, but it is. I am fascinated to see how it ends. And there's one or two tweets every day with a headline that make me go, what in God's green earth was going on at these quote unquote freak offs, man? It's weird. Some weird stuff to say.
Everything you hear, it is extremely weird. That's for sure. Yeah. Freak off is the right name.
It's weirder and weirder, I mean, It's a shame. I mean, because especially, you bring up Justin Bieber. I mean, it's a shame, all of it, but he was a kid, I mean, literally a kid when he was around. So if stuff really did happen with him, that clearly has kind of sent him sideways a little bit. It's a shame because,
he's been subtweeting him. Like he posted some like secure, I don't even know what it was, like some sort of security footage of him eating pizza. Like, and it was like, people are reading into it, like how it had to do with Diddy. I didn't totally understand it, but
what is there? There's some symbolism with pizza and child pornography or something like that. Like I saw something because there's a Disney movie that had some pizza. So then people were trying to like make connections between that imagery. Yeah. And so then I saw the thing with Bieber, how and man, it's crazy. These celebrities, man. I mean, you talk about the rich and famous, you think they're all cut and clean, dry, who you see in the interviews on talk shows and stuff. And it's like, you have no idea what's going on.
Oh my God. If America's father, Bill Cosby, goes down,
right.
What hope is there?
Right. Exactly.
That's so true. Yeah. I forgot about Bill Cosby. That was kind of one of the first of these big guys to fall. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's the greed, right? It's the root of all evil, right?
It's the greed and all the stuff you can do with that greed, when they get on the drugs and all that other stuff.
Well, that's like, it's like Diddy turning into an absolute weirdo. It's like, I don't know. He had women thrown at his feet for like, it's just, you become desensitized to it. And it's like, you turn into a weirdo.
Especially because I mean, really. Diddy at the peak, he was the peak of peak. I mean, he was cool. He was that industry, obviously his own music, but he had his own record label. He was obviously like launching people like Justin Bieber's career. He was in movies and TV shows. I mean, he was as big as they were, you know what I mean? So that's what's crazy. There's no telling how deep this really goes.
Yeah, but it also tells you he was so big where celebrities like LeBron and others may not necessarily even be involved in anything other than they wanted to hang around with the happening guy. You know what I mean?
That maybe they were at a party, but they weren't involved in all the...
They weren't in the sex dungeon or whatever the heck he had going on.
Hopefully not. Didn't you always have this big white party where they all wore white outfits?
That's not his thing, I don't think.
Not his?
Maybe it is. I didn't think that was his. I didn't think that was his. I do. There is a white party every year, but I don't think that's his party.
Shows you I'm not in the know, the real know.
But also, I don't know. You might be right. I'm not. I don't think that's his party though.
Okay.
It's definitely, I mean, I already see, Ted, I'm surprised if you haven't watched it. Every time I hop on Hulu or Netflix, it seems like there's a new Diddy documentary or something. And it's kind of one of those, my wife and I have been like, we want to watch one of these. And it's kind of like, let's kind of wait till it shakes out a little bit, where there's some more details. It's not just all speculation or whatever. So
yeah, I'm going to wait for the ultimate Diddy doc, a thing with all the facts. That's what I'm waiting for. I just can't take it right at the moment with the trial just underway. But anyway, I got us off on the wrong foot. This is the 3 Point Podcast presented by the Memorial Healthcare Wellness Center. Join the Summer Shape Up Challenge. It's running from June 4th to July 30th. Follow the Wellness Center on Facebook for more details. We're also brought to you in part by AZee Branding Solutions, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori and Associates Real Estate Services, and Nelson House Funeral Homes. Now, I don't think we're going to have a entertainment tonight at the end, but we will talk a little bit about Harson's Island Revenge, because I had a chance to see it at the neighborhood cinemas yesterday afternoon. Tony Hornis, a friend of the podcast, one of the producers for this, a Chronic Cavalier. The basic premise is World War I veterans on Harson's Island square off against the Purple Gang back in the 20s when there was prohibition and illegal liquor in the roaring 20s. An independent film, guys, and you both are in film. I mean, video, you're in video production. You can only imagine what an independent film, a 2-hour movie, what's involved in putting something like that together. That's quite an undertaking, really.
Right. Because you have to wonder if some of these people involved, I'm not sure, but if they have, kind of like us with this podcast, if they have other full-time jobs, or if they have other, is this their full-time job? Are they able to put all their time and energy towards it, and just resources in general,
Right.
So yeah, it sounds like I've seen some posts, some positive feedback, I'm not sure exactly which award show, but they're up for some awards.
Right.
And from the pictures, it looks like some people are showing up to the movie releases.
Well, and I'm going to try to put a positive spin on it too. I mean, there was some pretty cool things about it. I mean, first of all, it was a real movie. We're watching on the big screen. The cinematography I thought was really well done. That's a guy named Travis Hayward. The musical score, it was all original music. That was really good. Some of the actors were really good as well. The lead actor, I liked him, David Michael Reardon. He played the role of Frankie. He was pretty much in every scene in the movie, and that was well done. We know the story. It's a good story by America's barber, Carl Menke, here out of Owasso. So all in all, for an independent film, local people involved, some other highlights, I thought. Some nice scenery from northern Michigan. They had some good film, in autumn up north, beautiful colors. And they had excellent like period stuff, like the cars, the Chris Craft boats, the wooden Chris Craft boats. So all in all, I'd say, if you're local, especially, check it out. Why not help support our local people? There was Carl Menke himself was in the movie. He played a priest. He didn't have any lines, but you could see him there for a minute. And some other local people that donated money got their little cameos in the movie. So all in all, it was a good experience at the theater.
Cool.
Did you see your movie when you starred in it, which we found out after we did our interview with Tony and crew, that you were in one of his old movies? Or did you see that in theater on the big screen back in the day?
Yes, I did. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. It was very difficult. I'll just repeat the story real quick again. Tony asked me. I was doing high school sports on the radio, obviously, and there was a clip that they wanted to have in a bar. On the television above the bar was a Michigan State basketball game, and they wanted some audio, and I had to just write some sort of script and try to do play-by-play with some kind of enthusiasm. You know how hard that is to fake it? but I was in that movie, myself and Chris McMillan, my partner, and we were in the credits, so it's there forever.
Could you at least see the clip?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, if you could have watched it, you could have kind of faked it, but so you didn't know.
Yeah. No, I was in a recording studio with a clipboard and my bullet points, and then just started going at it. And
the
then
pressure was on, and it got to you with everybody listening in.
I was tough.
If people really dialed in and wanted to pay attention, they could have listened and been like, this isn't even following the game.
Hey, listen, for all 4 or 5 seconds, I don't think they could have picked up on it.
We're like, he's saying Mateen Cleaves, and that's Magic Johnson. Like that's Glenn Rice. That's not even,
Geez, I probably got my notes stuffed in a box somewhere. I should dig that out someday. Though I'm trying to purge, so I probably won't.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's cool. Hopefully it does keeps doing well. I know they said it's I forget what term they used, like a slow rollout, and it's going to eventually kind of go. I think I saw even over to Grand Rapids and some other areas. Yep. So hopefully people keep supporting it.
Yeah, if you don't go to the theater, I think it hits streaming services sometime in the fall.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to mention. I know, Jared. You said you've got something for catch up. I was going to jump in when you were doing our little partner reads. Memorial Healthcare. I think they were one of the main sponsors for that Shy Tri. It's been going on for a few years. I think the triathlon there along the Shiawassee River. My brother-in-law, Jason Mills, he did it this year. It was his first time doing it. So I want to give him a shout out. And saw some other feedback that event is pretty big. I mean, it looks like from the pictures and from posts and stuff. Obviously, I'm not there watching it, but my sister said that there was a huge turnout. There was a lot of people there. You start at NCG, or you're talking about going to see Harson's Island Revenge. Yep. There, you start right at NCG in Owasso. You run to McCurdy Park. You hop in a kayak at McCurdy Park, kayak back up into Owasso, and then you do a 6-mile bike ride. So it's run, kayak, bike, and so anyway, it looks like it's one of those things that would be, if you're obviously if you're a runner, biker, something like that, that'd be I did a little sprint triathlon a few years ago. It was shorter distances than even that, because I was like, I want to see if I can even do this. I've never really been like a long distance runner, but I started running a little bit, and I was like, let me see if I can even do this. I completed it, so it made myself feel good. But that would be like the next step up, doing that to see like, all right, swimming. You're in a kayak, so that's a little different. I'm not about to swim in the Shiawassee River, first of all, but you're in a kayak, so that's a little easier. If you can bike, you can pace yourself on the bike if you're not a runner. So anyway. I know Memorial Healthcare Wellness Center, they were involved in that. So pretty cool event.
Yeah, it was awesome. It went by my parents' house and I was over there on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
And it was nonstop, like bikers. Like I went and actually worked out at the wellness center and I was on my way back. And like they were biking past, I like couldn't get around them. It was like a biker every like 15 feet. And I drove like 10 miles an hour back to my house, basically.
Nice.
So I didn't know what to do in the situation. Should I whiz by them? Could I just sit behind him? Because then the guy's like constantly looking over his shoulder, like waiting for me to go in the middle of this race. So I think whatever I would have chose would have been wrong. So I just kind of waited behind him. But yeah, no.
Would you ever do? I know Ted, that's probably past your time.
It's
maybe
past
now?
my time.
Okay.
No, it's past
Jared,
my time.
Okay, yeah, Jared, would you ever?
I respect
them.
Like I'll be honest. Like I was talking the last week about my hamstring, like tightening up from 3 hours of shoveling, like. I think it would rip my body apart. Like I walk every day and I'm at this point in my life where if I'm like, you have to train for that stuff. Like you have to really put in the work to do it. And I'm in the point of let me get into shape, but let me also just like not end up in a cast. And I just feel like I would end up in a cast if I started training for that hard.
Well, what I liked about that one, the way when you were describing it too, and the way they break it up, okay, you run, that's working on your legs, a little bit of your arms, but then you kayak, that's all upper body. So your legs have time to recover, then get back on the bike. So your legs aren't all rubbery. It's a pretty good way to break it up. And it seems to me it'd be more fun than the whole swimming one in there as well.
Yeah. The one that I did started with swimming. Again, the distances were shorter because it was considered a sprint triathlon, but it started with swimming. And I basically was like, I'm going to pace myself in the swim part. I'm going to, I'm going to swim, but I was like, I'm not starting out going 110%. I'm going to swim. So when I hop on the bike, I can push it. And then I'll finish with the run. Like I said, I'm not a big long distance runner. I'll finish with the run and just get it done. I was like, the bike is where I'm going to try and make my mark. So.
I never understood why they start with swimming. Cause you swim. Now you're soaking wet. Let me go jump on my bicycle. And like now you got like a rash on your legs. I know for a fact you had a rash on your inner thighs after that.
I mean, the diehard ones, I didn't. I swam in just my my compression shorts. Diehard people, I mean, they strip down and get buck naked and completely their clothes.
Change. Yeah. Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
That's just
part of it, man.
Yeah, I mean, they don't. Some people don't even like put a towel up. They just when they're getting on their bike, it's
drop trowel,
pull up, and you're on your bike. So that's
what I just couldn't do that, man. It is like it's badass when people do that. Like they do that in CrossFit. Well, they'll have like basically one of those, and it's like, wow, this is awesome. Like I watch it every year.
I wonder if our guy, friend of the pod, Noah Jacobs, I wonder if he would do something like that. We know he's in tip-top shape. I wonder if
I bet he would. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, he's got a pond, so he could swim. He's obviously got the running abilities, and I mean, he's got the cardio, so it would apply to all those different areas. So that's a good question. I wonder, he might honestly competed in it for all we know, to be honest.
Could be.
All right, so I got something random. It's not really a catch-up as much as it's something that's really been irritating me now for about a week or two. And it was a debate at work today, and so I just have to bring it up. So I've been reading the Baseball 100, as you guys know.
Yep.
Learning a lot about baseball history and appreciating a lot of the old-time greats who came before. So the debate today, basically it was, if like we've all heard this debate before, the old-time players, how would they stack up today against current players? Basically, what was told to me by some coworkers today is that they aren't like basically a Babe Ruth or a Lou Gehrig or Joe DiMaggio. Like they wouldn't even be college baseball players in today's game. And listen, genuinely, you think about like today's generation. Do they just qualify? Like if you have an arm sleeve and you have Oakley sunglasses and a flat brim hat and a fighting necklace that you're just like a superstar on the baseball field. You don't realize, as I'm going through this history, like a Joe DiMaggio, literally look up his story. All he did was baseball. His dad, Chuck DiMaggio, was basically like a good dad, but also maybe the worst dad of all time. He was a coal miner. All he did was he'd go to the coal mines before 5 a.m. They're working out, playing baseball. When he gets home, they're playing baseball and they're practicing. He's switch hitting, doing all this stuff. And if Joe complained about it for 2 seconds, like he's getting a belt. Like you can't make up that type of work ethic. That's a lot of these guys. And what cracks me up is they always will say, oh, well, the medicine and the diet and the workouts. Look at Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig was built. And look at the diet. The diet, like, no need to go on a tangent, RFK, it's like what we're eating is poison. Like, the diets back in 1910 were probably better than what we're eating now. I don't care if you're eating from, poke or something like that, and you think you're eating so magical. There's so many dyes and crap in our food today. They are in shape back in the day. These
Ted's right now.
What?
Right now, Jared, Ted is just smiling ear to ear because that we've said Babe Ruth could never hit Justin Verlander or something like that.
Right.
Right now, Ted's just got a smile on his face.
Well, the argument, it just cracks me up, the whole argument, because of course, with today's day and age and all the training and stuff, I get what you're saying, Jared, but these guys were superstars against their own people, the people that they were playing against. You just can't compare eras, but I still think in baseball, the best players then still could compete.
Right. I mean, ask Ted Williams, who was literally formed in like the crucible. The guy's playing baseball, then he's a fighter pilot, like escaping torture. Like, you don't think because he didn't go play at Myrtle Beach when he was 12 years old in some travel baseball tournament, like he can't compete with these kids. It's because he doesn't know his macros and doesn't do Pilates. He can't play. Like, I look at baseball different than I would a football or basketball. 100%. Wilt Chamberlain couldn't play in basketball today. Those guys could not. George Mikan, no chance. Football and basketball are 100% physical. You look at baseball, look at Ichiro Suzuki, look at Miguel Cabrera. Did he have an athletic bone in his body? Like, Ichiro Suzuki was literally 100 pounds soaking wet, and he hit 400. Like, it doesn't matter. And like I mentioned, Lou Gehrig was built. Jackie Robinson, whose best sport wasn't even baseball, by the way, 25-10 long jump. And get this, he didn't even do 25-10 long jump at UCLA, school record. I think the world record's like 29 feet. He's really not that far off of it. He ran and jumped in his brother's track spikes. He didn't even have track spikes. He had to wear his brother's track spikes that were like 2 sizes too big for him. And he's jumping 25-10. It's just funny to me that people say that. And I'll be the first one to crap on the old generation. But when it comes to baseball and the guys like DiMaggio, who literally lived on the diamond, like, drop them in today's day and age. They're batting 500 in high school baseball. They're hitting 30 home runs. They're top prospects in the MLB. Like, that's just the way I think. Thoughts?
Let's talk baseball anytime, Jared. I'm proud of you, young man. Baseball is a special sport, but I agree with what you're saying. If you look at the history of baseball and the players, they could compete for sure in today's day and age. The superstars, the Hall of Famers, no doubt about it.
I'm just looking up real quick because I wanted to make sure and say this right. So okay, the point I was going to try and make, I think the big thing, like we said, could Babe Ruth hit prime Justin Verlander? Could Ted Williams hit prime Clayton Kershaw? That would be interesting because the pitchers back then were obviously great. Bob Gibson, Satchel Paige, obviously Babe Ruth.
Walter Johnson.
Right. But did they have like the movement? Did they have some of the other stuff? That might be a debate might be able. Jackson Jobe for the Tigers threw like a cutter the other night that cut like 8 feet across the plate, and I think it was Bichette was up the bat, struck out. It looked like a little leaguer. So that's maybe where like a debate could be. But I wanted to make it up or make sure I had it. Satchel Paige, again, who knows what they were using to clock it? Right. His pitches were clocked at like 105 miles an hour, and I remember seeing that at one point that Satchel Paige cleared the triple digits, regularly. Again, what were they using to clock it? Who knows?
No, I know this. Okay, so they talk about it in Base 100. So this is what they would do. Think about this. They would go to a gun range, and basically the same way they would test bullets is how they would test baseball, how fast you would throw. So they would have a box with a little curtain on it, and then you would have to throw it in this little strike zone, basically go through this curtain, and then it would hit the wall behind it. They would measure it from when it went through the curtain to when it hit the wall. Like, it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard, but pretty revolutionary for
science.
Yeah. Right. So that's how they would, like, it's not perfect, but you're exactly right. Like, guys threw hard back then. They still claim Nolan Ryan threw a 108 mile an hour fastball.
Right.
That's not true. I don't
know.
He might have. No way. He probably.
I don't know, man.
I would guess 103. is my guess on how fast that actually was.
I just the thing that when you watch Aroldis Chapman, who is the guy nowadays, he's past his prime, but he still throws 105, 106. That looks insane. So if Nolan Ryan was even topping that, which he probably was, what the Rocket Express, or what the heck was his nickname? The
train, right? Or am I wrong?
Whatever his nickname was,
Express.
Bob Gibson.
Yeah,
I think it was just the Express, but yeah, Bob Gibson, I know, was always hitting like 98, 99.
Oh yeah.
So like these dudes threw hard, but like, did they hit, like I said, the Jackson Jobe cutters? Did they have those kind of pitches? That's where maybe like one at bat, Ted Williams might be like, whoa, what? I don't know what I just saw, but then I think they would be fine. They'd figure it out. They would go watch film, because now you can watch film on it. And Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, these dudes, Babe Ruth, they'd figure it out. Pete Rose, I think he would be okay. Tony Gwynn, who basically never struck out his whole career, I think he would figure it out also.
Yeah, Rod Carew.
Right. And that's the thing is, like, I do actually think it would be different for pitchers. Pitching is a lot more physical than it is. Like, batting to me is like, like Barry Bonds used to always say, like, he's just, you imagine you're playing catch, you're just replacing the glove with a bat. Like, these guys have that skill. Maybe Ted Williams isn't going to hit 400 or 40 home runs, but he's going to bat 300. I don't. It's fascinating to me, man.
Right.
Baseball, something about it more than any other sport. I love the comparison of the past versus the present.
So was it a hot topic of discussion at work? I mean, was it mixed reviews?
Well, because I was going through old highlights of basically this St. Louis Cardinals versus the Detroit Tigers, and we're going to put together this little like history piece about it. And I'm watching some of this old footage. And so it just like naturally everybody's kind of sitting around. As I'm editing it, people are sitting around watching, and we started talking about it. I just brought it up. I love a good debate. That's why we do this podcast. So I brought it up knowing that they were going to have one take. I'm like, okay, let me push back on be the devil's advocate. So it just got me going.
It's always you kind of said it, Ted, earlier. It's a debate that will never actually, first of all, it will never be figured out for real. But it's also like, okay, what are the parameters? If we're saying literally we're plopping Ted Williams from his prime into today's game, would he be able to do it? There might be a learning curve, but if you give him time to train, time to, take batting practice against today, I think he would be fine. It's the same with the NBA thing. If you took a player from the 60s, George Mikan, and you plopped him in today's game, it probably wouldn't go well because it's a completely different game.
Terrible.
Jerry West, probably wouldn't go well. But if you gave him today's training, today's, everything, and let him actually practice shooting a 3-point shot, he'd probably be able to figure it out.
I'll give Jared George Mikan, but Wilt Chamberlain, I take umbrage with that. Wilt Chamberlain could play in any era, man. He was a man amongst boys.
They say
he's like different than basketball. He was just like
he averaged 50 a game.
7-footers that played. Yeah, because he's only 7-footer that played. It was a different. It's
no 3 seconds.
Man. You got Kevin 7-footers today are shooting. It's Kevin Durant.
No, I think they had 3 seconds, but I will say this. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain was he might have been the greatest player of all time. I mean, that's how good he was.
Didn't they say like when he was in 7th grade, he already could have played in the NBA? Like there's stuff about Wilt Chamberlain that's like this dude was the absolute freak of nature. But
read a biography on him sometime, Jared. Get caught up. It was pretty amazing. He really was.
I'm sorry, that's one guy. He wasn't a winner. Bill, give me Bill Russell over.
He didn't have players around him. Bill Russell had all kinds of players around him.
Oh, he had Jerry West around him. He had the logo, man.
What's that?
He had the logo around him. I mean, what else you need?
And he won a championship with the Lakers
later in his career, right?
Like 10 for
most of his career was with Philadelphia.
Right.
Weird, interesting side tangent. I'll give you Wilt Chamberlain. Okay, Bill Russell. I'll just swap my name out to Bill Russell, and we won't debate that one.
He wouldn't score.
Hey, I gave you an inch. You're trying to take a mile.
He could play defense with anybody in today's day and age. I'll tell you that.
The style of game is very different. That would be the big thing. So it is. It's always a fun debate. I always love the dream team versus the redeem team. Those kind of debates. It's always fun. It'll never be solved. It'll never truly be figured out. So it's a debate that will go on and on and on.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening to 3 Point Podcast. we could debate this for the whole program, but I want to tell our listeners that we do have some other great partners. They include Rivals, Taphouse, and Grille, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, Shiawassee County Fair, and ALFs of Michigan. Our sponsor of the week, Rivals, Taphouse, and Grille. Rivals, Taphouse, that's our hometown family-friendly sports bar dedicated to a fun atmosphere for you and your friends. Great drink selection, many daily specials, and you can catch whatever you want on their many big screens. So Rivals, Taphouse, and Grille, our sponsor of the week. All right, we'll come back, maybe talk a little bit more baseball and some other things. I know the NFL released their schedule, the Detroit Lions. We're going to get into that a little bit for sure. We'll be right back right after this. Let's start right with the Lions. Let's get right to the meat and potatoes of what the recent release was of their schedule, especially their road schedule. At Green Bay, at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, at Kansas City, at Washington, at Philly, at the Rams, and Minnesota and Chicago, of course. I mean, that is probably, ever since I followed Lion football, the toughest road schedule they've ever had.
It literally is. It is they said that the Super Bowl era, it is the toughest road schedule in the history of the game.
Yeah.
If you're going off of previous records, all except for the Bears and the Bengals, all the teams they play on the road are playoff teams from last season. Why do they always have to go to the Chiefs? Do the Chiefs ever come to Ford Field? I'm sure they do. It seems like we're always in Kansas City for that game.
Yeah, it does.
The Cowboys, we always get the Cowboys. It just seems like some of those games we always get, but it's almost like, we 15-2 last year is no joke. You have to go out there and win the games. I'm not saying anything bad about last year's team, but we know the schedule was kind of favorable. Only 3 outdoor games, and we missed some of those tough road games like what you just laid out, Ted.
Yeah,
it's almost like the NFL saw that and we're like, nope, we're going to completely flip it. We're going to give them all, like, half the schedules outdoors, the road schedule you just laid out, and the work is cut out for them because the division's not easier either. The division, in theory, is going to be better too. So I don't know, man. Three straight
new
coordinators
too. New coordinators to get through.
It's just the fact how did we not get any one of those games at home? Like,
right.
Obviously the schedule is the schedule and it's set, pretty much years in advance with what division you're going to play and like the Vikings, for example, have pretty much the same schedule, but they have a lot of those teams at home. It just makes no sense. It's the freaking Ford Field. It's the Lions. We've had the best home atmosphere. The crowd shows out. It's an unreal environment in those primetime games. How do you not give us a single one of those teams at home? I'm so sick of the Buccaneers. I'm so sick of the Cowboys. Right. I'm so sick of these teams, the Rams even. It's like, feels like we play these teams 50 times a year. I'm ready for some new blood. We got some new blood. It's an awesome schedule. I mean, every game is like must watch. It really looks like, really, other than maybe the Browns week 4. It's an awesome schedule, but man, they shafted the season ticket holders hard. There's no good game at home. How do you not give us one of those games at home? This is not even right. Like, you would have thought we were like cheating last year, like we were the Houston Astros or something with this. It's like pure punishment. It's pure punishment. There's no other way to put it. Oh, and we're going to start the season on the road at Green Bay. It's like, can you throw us a bone in any which way? Oh, and we're playing Thanksgiving Day and Christmas, which us as fans, I love that. I can't wait for the Christmas Day game. But as a player, like, I think Alex on this only had a funny tweet, like, what the hell is this? Like, if you're a player looking at this, like,
it's a Thursday game.
You want to stab your eyes out, man.
Yeah, it's more Thursday games. They have 3 Thursday games this year. Yeah, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and another Thursday game. 12 games are on national TV because they've got a bunch of the 4:00 slot, the Fox game of the week with your guy, Ted, Tom Brady on the call. I mean, Ted, what do you remember? The Lions play at 1:00. That's just
1:00.
1:00. 5 out of 17.
Play on the West Coast. Okay, 4:00 then, but
I don't hate not playing in the 1:00 window. To me, that's awesome. Like, how many times have you been on a Sunday at 4:25 and you're like, dude, no, there's nothing to watch right now. These games are terrible. It's the Chargers, it's the Rams, maybe. I love being in that 4:25 slot. You get to end red zone, those 1:00 games.
Yeah.
Then you turn on the Lions for the primetime spot at 4:25. I love it. I saw a lot of people complaining about that too. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not against that as much as the road schedule, period.
Right.
That's the bummer. And if you look at it, yeah, they got their work cut out in front of them. Dan Campbell, he's going to earn his money this year with losing his coordinators. Like I said, the division's getting tougher and these road games, but still, I have faith in them, and it's still going to come down to our guy, Jared Goff, is he going to be able to get it done outdoors with this tough schedule on the road? It's a big, big year for him and the rest of the team. But I see the Lions maybe having a dip, obviously, from last year. But I see them probably 10 or 11 wins still. Yeah. I think they can do it.
At the end of the day, man, they got to stay healthy. That's like we saw that 2 years ago when definitely didn't have that 15-2 record, but we were primed and ready to go by the time the playoffs rolled around.
Yep.
At the end of the day, man, just if we're 9-7, if you told me we're going to be 9-7, we got to play round 1 of the playoffs on the road, but everybody's healthy. Aiden Hutchinson, everybody's healthy.
Yep.
I'd take that right now. I would literally accept that right now. It's or not 9-7, 9-8, I guess is what it would be nowadays. But yeah, to me, it's a brutal schedule. A lot of people I'm seeing those comparisons like 10-7, 9-8, maybe 11-6. It's I don't know. It could be. It's an awesome schedule, but again, you can't get a single game at home. Did you guys see everybody? I'm sure you guys did. People complaining about the Lions ticket prices.
Yeah.
Can I give my 2 cents on that?
Of course.
When I think of the NFL and how awesome of a sport it is and how awesome it is to go to those games. I went to one game when I was a kid. One game, Falcons, when the Lions were won 2 or 3 games that year. Michael Vick. I still remember it. It's still a great memory to this day. To me, it is. You shouldn't be expecting to go to a Lions game every year. You shouldn't be expecting to go to 2-3 games a year if you're a kid, if you're a family. Like people are like, oh, what am I going to do? Pay $1,500 for me and my family to go to the game? You know what you do? You go to Comerica Park. You go to a Pistons game where the tickets are $10 a pop. That's where you do your family excursion. Still an awesome experience. To me, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to a lot of these games, especially when the Lions are as good as they are. People had their chances to go to these games when they sucked. It's unfortunate that the prices are what they are, but I don't understand why they're mad at the Lions for that. They're still selling out every game. How do you expect them? Listen, I'm okay charging more because you know what that means? We can spend a little bit more on the salary of these players. To me, it's unfortunate, but we're a little bit spoiled in the sense like, hey, you go to one game in your lifetime, that's better than most people. I think you take it and you leave it. That's the way I view an NFL game.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is definitely different than Major League Baseball with 162 games, or I guess, 81 home games. So they don't have as many home games to change the ticket prices for it. I think that's mainly what it is. Lions fans aren't used to this. Lions fans are used to by October, November, you can get in the door, Silverdome or Ford Field for like $30, $40. Right. That's how it used to be. It's not that way anymore because the Lions are, perennially one of the best teams in the NFC the last couple seasons. That's just how it is. Are they, are they taking advantage of this situation? Probably. They could keep it a little more affordable. I get what you're saying, Jared. I mean, yes, going to a Lions game, there's people that probably down near where you live, random Tuesday, Wednesday night will be like, hey, let's pop over to Comerica. Let's pop over to LCA and go to a Pistons game or whatever, because it's only $20 to get in the door. NFL is different for sure. They could keep it a little more affordable for the families. So it's not all just the rich people going to Ford Field, but
I agree with what you're saying. Exactly, Matt. And it's not even to the families. Okay. You ought to be able to take your son, or your daughter, but you ought to be able to take maybe not necessarily the whole family, but maybe you buy them a special Christmas present or birthday present and take them to a game, one game, maybe. Okay. But it's priced now. I mean, it's greed again. The NFL's making their money on TV, for God's sakes. They don't have to gouge the fans that come to the games. I mean, the Lions, did I read that standing room's almost $400 now?
$400, yeah.
I mean, okay, a couple $100 is one thing, but you go up to 400? That's just
right.
And then we've talked about it before, my lifetime dream, many Lion fans' lifetime dream is to go to a game. It's never going to happen unless I win free tickets somehow.
The Super Bowl, right?
Or Super Bowl, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that they talk about at Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the Falcons play, one, it's weird that Chick-fil-A is the biggest thing at Atlanta, and then they play on Sundays. Chick-fil-A is not open on Sundays, so that's always just kind of weird. But one thing, it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's in Atlanta. It's not going to be cheap to go to those games, but their concessions are super cheap. So that's one thing that people talk about. You drop $800 to get in, but a beer is only $8. Burger, hot dog is only $2-3 or whatever. You go to Ford Field, and I mean, you're going to also spend another couple $100 on concessions. Right. And you're going to take your son, you're going to buy him a jersey, you're going to buy him a foam finger that's $40. So I mean, you're looking at a few $1,000s almost parking and everything to go to one game. And it is a little frustrating, but then the flip side is like, you want to go back to being 0-16? You want to go back to being 3-13? No, I mean, I like this better. So, and I'm not local, so I'm not like necessarily trying to go to a game all the time.
Right.
A little different for you guys, obviously, but you know, it is a little weird seeing standing room only $400.
Very weird.
You don't even get a seat. You don't even get a seat, and you have to pay $400 to get in.
Again, I see both sides of it, so we can just leave it at that. I get what you guys are saying, and it's unfortunate, but that's the NFL. That's where everything's trending. I'd love to, act like we love our owner. Martha Ford's done a great job. Yeah. Or not Martha Ford. What's her? Why am I blanking on her name?
Sheila.
Sheila Fordham.
Sheila.
Yeah.
So, she's done a great job. I don't know. It just seems unreasonable for me to be like, yep, you know what? You're charged $100 per ticket. It's like,
right.
How do you do that, man? It's a business.
At the end of it is a business.
Yep. If people are paying it, if fans are so outraged, stop paying for these tickets, man. Right. That's the thing. It's a sellout every damn game. It's the best atmosphere in the NFL. It's like, why would you change anything?
Because fans want, they're going to have to pay Aiden Hutchinson. They're going to have to pay, if they extend Jameson. Fans want those players. So what do you want? Do you want everyone? Do you want, Jahmyr Gibbs to get top dollar when his contract comes up? Well, we got to be able to pay it. So kind of along those lines too, I saw Pro Football Focus release their top 100 players under 25. Lions have the most players on that list. I know some people roll their eyes at Pro Football Focus.
I like it.
I mean, it's a pretty reliable source for football statistics and football trends and stuff like that. And the number one player under 25 is Penei Sewell. Brian Branch and Jahmyr Gibbs are also in the top 10 players under 25 in the NFL. That's 3 dudes right there, 3 cornerstones for the Lions. I mean, the big one would be Aiden Hutchinson. The injury obviously is the question mark, but yes, on paper right now with the draft picks that they made too, I think the Lions are in a good spot. That schedule though is not favorable, but you got to win the games.
Got to win the games for sure. Do you think there's anything to the fact that the Lions had so many injuries because of the style they play?
What's that style? Like,
kind of like a Dan Campbell bite your kneecap type of thing,
Right. Hard practices.
No, it's NFL, man, dude. It's literally going to war every Sunday. Yeah. It's every team. Watch, we're talking about how hard the schedule is. Of those road opponents, probably 2 of them will be decimated by injury by the time we get to them. Starting quarterback will be out. Knock on wood. Hopefully, it's not Jared Goff.
So it's just luck of the draw.
It happens to a lot of teams, and we got lucky 2 years ago where we were totally healthy. Last year we were the unlucky ones. It happens.
Yeah, and I don't want to be negative Nelly, but we talked about it 2 years ago. They were so close. Will they get that chance again? As good as they are, and they've turned around the franchise without a doubt. But to get to that Super Bowl, did they lose their window?
Halftime lead.
I know,
in the NFC Championship game.
You can't help but think about that.
Right.
That was the most distraught we've all ever been at.
It was.
That was fucking brutal. That really was.
No doubt. All right. Anything else on NFL before we move on to maybe? Where do you want to go?
Yeah. Can we talk about the PGA real quick?
Sure.
Do we need to take a break or can I go right into it?
Good.
No.
All right. Okay. So I've been talking a lot, and I'm going to bring it back to Baseball 100. Believe it or not, this is the last time I'm talking about Baseball 100 for months.
Until Ted reads it.
Yeah, so you can bring it up every week, Jared. I love it.
So Rory, we'll talk about Scheffler. He won. He's dominant right now. He's best player.
He rolled.
Yeah. He rolled. It was boring, how dominant he was. I turned it on. I had a big bet on the Nuggets, Game 7. Game got their doors blown off. I was hoping for some entertainment. Flip it over to the PGA Championship. Scheffler's up by 5. All right, this is over. Guess I'm just going to watch nothing tonight. So Rory and the driver issues. And on top of that, him skipping out on media availability.
Yep.
We talked about this a year ago. It feels like Groundhog's Day with Rory. Yep. And I basically said how these guys are not owed anything to the media. One, this whole driver situation where he used a driver that was, non-conforming. Talk about making a mountain out of a molehill. These guys all do it. Scheffler, who won this week, had a non-conforming driver, and nobody's talking about that. Basically, what it is one, I didn't realize that they reuse the same driver for a year, essentially, and wear that face down to where it's a quote-unquote trampoline effect, where that ball stays on the driver head a little bit longer because the front of it's so thin that it basically catapults off of it. I don't know. The science makes really no sense to me. But anyway, it's not that big of
Right.
a deal. A lot of these players have this issue happen to them. Xander Schauffele's had it happen in the past. So people are making a big deal out of it. And the first thing people are saying, oh, is that what he used at Augusta? So I'm just thinking in Rory McIlroy's shoes. I'm going to go up to this podium. I'm going to get asked a million entrapping questions, basically pointed questions where they're basically accusing me of cheating for something that's not even a big deal. Here's a weird thing that I'll tie back to Baseball 100. Okay, so Ty Cobb. We know Ty Cobb, Tiger legend, a genius in spikes, as they say. So Ty Cobb, how about this for a story? So I didn't know this. So we all know him as this racist, bigot, anti-Semite, sharpening the spikes, all that.
Yep.
However, when he was, basically his rookie year, so this is what happens to him. That forms kind of this guy we know. So his dad came home late at night, thought his wife, Ty Cobb's mom, was basically having an affair on him. Sneaks around the back door to this window. His mom is sitting there with a pistol, shoots him right in the chest, then goes right up to him, shoots him in the head. Okay, so that happens. He's 18 years old, about to join the MLB. From there, his mom is now on trial as he goes to minicamp as a rookie. He gets to minicamp, and he is literally hazed to oblivion by his teammates over this. And it's funny reading the quotes from his teammates. Oh, well, it was just rookie hazing. Like, it wasn't nothing out of the normal. It was just rookie hazing. Hey, how about we don't haze the guy whose mom just murdered his dad, and he's now having to sit in the courtroom while his mom's on trial for it. So Ty Cobb is probably partially that is why he was formed who he was. So fast forward, you remember him as this ultimate villain because of this media member, Al Stump. So yeah. Al Stump, I wrote it down. Let me make sure I got it. So Al Stump, a writer and collaborator with Ty Cobb in the 1960s, often cited as someone who contributed to tarnishing Cobb's reputation. Stump's writing, particularly in the later years, included sensationalization, whatever the word is, and false accounts about Cobb, aiming to portray him in an unflattering light, such as the story that he sharpened his spikes before games spiked him. That never happened. Flat out never happened. The media is always, and I'm a media member, I see it firsthand. It's all about forming their story. It's all about getting clicks, dating back to the 1900s. So for Rory, to people to get all butthurt because he doesn't want to speak to the media when they get this little sliver of a dumb story like a non-conforming driver, they are going to, and I'm not saying Ty Cobb was perfect, definitely wasn't, but you can see how it's all about what makes the best headline. Oh, Ty Cobb sharpens his spikes like an ultimate villain. It's like, no, the ultimate villain might have been this freaking Al Stump character. He's got a super villain name. So to me, I just get mad when people get super upset. Like Tyrese Halliburton didn't speak to the media after one Pacers playoff game. I just get upset when that becomes a major bitching factor of Twitter, of whatever. Like these guys have a life. They're a real person too. And the flat out reality of it is a lot of times these media members are not their friends. And they turn on them the second they get a chance. Rory McIlroy, they're celebrating him at the Masters. A week later, oh, were you using a non-conforming driver at the Masters? Right. It just makes me sick. Any thoughts on that at all?
That's a hell of a story. Yeah. First of all, I mean, I did not expect that to go there. I knew nothing about Al Stump and the way that he spun the story. I never heard the mom trial, all that kind of stuff. I do remember hearing that the holes sharpened spikes was kind of like a tall tale type of thing, but I didn't know the connection or why. So I appreciate that. This Baseball 100 is going to come in handy on this podcast, especially once. Maybe Ted, you should start at the back of the book, Ted. So then you and Jared kind of like meet in the middle.
Up to speed, yeah.
I'm already done with it, man. Dude, I ran out of audiobook minutes. I buzzed through it. Once you get to those top 20 guys, where it's Willie Mays, Ty Cobb, Joe DiMaggio, like you get out of the Mike Musinas of the world who were like in the 90s. Like now it's like I want to listen. I can't stop listening to this. Yeah.
I was just going to interject. If you haven't seen the movie Cobb with Tommy Lee Jones, you should check it out. It's well done.
I saw it a long time ago. I need to rewatch it. This Ty Cobb segment of 3 Point Podcast is. I kind of want to go back and watch it again.
Ty Cobb,
I remember it was really good.
He kind of was awesome. He was so evil, but also a little misunderstood. Yeah. People become evil. It's not like you just wake up one day and you're evil. It's like, I mean, you look at his backstory. It's like, yeah, if that happened to me, I probably would be an asshole too. Like that's how it goes.
Well, I think the Al Stump character, I'm just going off memory. It's been a while since I've seen the movie too. I think that Stump character was played by, who's the guy that played Arliss? You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Isn't it anyway?
Arliss from what? Or what do you mean Arliss?
From HBO back in the day. He played a sports agent.
I'll look it up while you're talking.
Sure.
But
yeah, I remember that being. I mean, Tommy Lee Jones is good, and he was really good in that movie. I remember. No, yeah, I'm a part of the media too. Ted, you made a career being a part of the media too. Of course, there's always an agenda. No, it's kind of one of those things where if Rory went up to the podium, almost to an extent, whichever way he answered those questions, he could have been in the wrong. You know what I mean? Sometimes, think about how many times LeBron James went to the podium after a loss, tried to take the high road, tried to say the politically correct stuff and all that, and it got spun. He didn't care, or, whatever. It got spun a certain way. Or if, the emotions come out and you say something a little heated, then that gets taken, so it's like Rory, sometimes it is better. Sometimes, he didn't have a good weekend. Obviously, he was never in contention. Then this, story comes out. Just go away. Let Scotty Scheffler have his moment. Let some of the other guys have their moment and just go away. And hopefully people just move on. But of course, because Rory is outside of Scotty Scheffler, he's the biggest name in the game. People aren't going to let the story slide. But no, it's the media definitely always has an agenda. We know that they want to spin whatever story to get their clicks, like you said.
And I'm not even gonna lie, I maybe was a part of this at one point when I used to write for the school newspaper. I'd have that whole story written on the basketball team. Let me call the team, interview them, ask a few questions, plug and play a couple of those quotes in there. The story's already written a lot of the time with its deadlines and all that stuff. And they're like, you think about it like a Tigers game. This article is written by the ninth inning of most of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Plug in a few bites at the end, and you're ready to go.
You got to help me out.
Media is a good thing, but it just we get on our high horse sometimes, man.
Yeah. And you talk about the clicks. Back in the day, it was about selling newspapers. But I just have a general question. You're talking about this driver situation. I mean, is it illegal or not illegal? I mean, it shouldn't even be a story if he's able to use it.
Scheffler says the best. Like, what is going on with this testing? It's so random. Like, either we should be testing every week or we shouldn't be testing. It's like, and think about Rory used his driver or Scheffler, because we haven't heard from Rory yet. Scheffler used his driver for a year, and it just now became testable. So basically, it's like finally, after 3,000 hits at 120 club head speed or whatever it is, finally it's not, however they test it, it's non-conforming. Right.
So they test it and they confiscate it, and he has to go to another driver.
Swap it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is imagine you're about to play a basketball game. All right, I'm going to give you brand new tennis shoes and go ahead and break them in.
Or it's like baseball. Take your baseball bat,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna go use your teammate's baseball bat. It's a better comp. Yeah, it's not ideal, but again, it didn't affect Scheffler at all. He still played great.
Crazy.
So.
I remember back in the day hearing Tiger Woods talk about that you would find a driver that you get into a groove with, but then it gets tested and it then becomes, illegal basically because it's been used too much. So you got to move on to a new driver. Even if it's the exact same driver, it's not going to be the exact same driver. You know what I mean? So
how much of a difference does it really make? I mean, is it more yardage you get out of it?
I mean, yeah,
must be some science to it.
There's a reason they're pushing the edge. There's a reason they're not swapping out their driver every week. I mean, I don't know. That's again, it's like I watched some 10-minute PGA Golf Channel recap of it. It's kind of I'm talking about my butt when I'm talking about this, but there's probably an advantage to it. I mean, if Scheffler's doing it, best player in the world, Rory McIlroy's doing it, probably number 2 player in the world. It's an advantage. It's definitely giving them probably more yards and probably a little bit more accuracy, I would guess.
Yeah, very interesting. But PGA, like you said, it didn't have any drama, so. On to the next one, and we'll see what happens. And same thing in horse racing. When a horse wins the Kentucky Derby and doesn't come back for the Preakness, it kind of ruins the whole thing for me.
Definitely loses a lot of the juice, that's for sure. But even though
going for the Triple Crown,
right? The clip of the race, journalism winning it was pretty wild.
It was.
Yeah.
That announcer, man, Larry Culmus, I think I've shouted him out before on this show. He is an all-time. Just announcer. Every time they post a video of him watching it from his booth, he's old school. He's got the binoculars out. It's everything about that guy. I love it. And it's you watch that race, man. It's like so much has happened in that last 20 seconds. He follows it perfectly, nails it, has a legendary call every time. It's impressive. That guy is just damn good at his job.
Yeah, you got to really respect somebody. You got to really respect somebody like that because I've done play-by-play forever. I couldn't even come close to that. That guy is so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. But my dad said the same thing about the triple crown. Yes, it definitely takes a hit, but Also, it's like, journalism ran a great race in the Kentucky Derby, and he ended up winning this race. I mean, what an all-time effort. I've never seen anything. I took my eyes off the screen for 2 seconds. I was watching a movie during it. And I looked back and I saw journalism had won. I was like, what is going on? Like, I figured that horse had gotten DQ'd. I wasn't listening with audio. So like, oh, okay. Whatever the horse name is, someone with the G. He must have got disqualified. Like, what the hell's going on? No, he came back and won. It felt like that straightaway lasted for an eternity. And he won. But what an all-time race. Those horses, I mean, they're just like humans, man. Journalism is sitting, he's like realizing it's like, I'm gaining on this horse. This horse is dead. I'm going to beat him. Like, it's just, I wish I was more in the horse racing world. It's just such a cool sport.
Have you ever been to the horse races, the thoroughbreds?
Anywhere. I've never been. I would love to somewhere.
It's pretty amazing. We just by chance, we went on a vacation out to Long Island and went out to the Belmont for just an afternoon to kill some time, have a little picnic. And we went in and they were having racing that day. So we went in and there's these old timers, chomping on their cigars. They got their racing form there. And I don't know nothing about it.
It's so cool. Like, that's why awesome. It's a different level of cool, man, being in that world. It's for sure.
It's obviously changed a little bit with online gambling, or whatever. It's not exactly the same, but if you're at a track like that, I went to the track where Seabiscuit was filmed. I think it's called Santa Anita.
West.
I went there when I was out west with some friends, and kind of the same thing. We had a day where we needed something to do. We're like, let's go over there and throw some money down on some horse
It's
racing.
Fun, isn't it? It's fun.
It is fun. Did we probably talked about this before. Did you ever go to Sports Creek when that was a thing back in the day?
Oh yeah. Went there probably half a dozen times. I won the most money when I didn't go. I gave some money to Phil and East to put down on a horse. He came home, gave me $90. So I was feeling pretty good.
That was like $1 million in those days.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Hey, before we get off the topic of sports in general, talk a little Tigers. I have it on the TV right now. We're recording on Monday night. They're getting beat by St. Louis 5-0 right now, but they've been on a hell of a streak. Definitely playing first place baseball, best record in baseball for a little bit. They just have so much going for them. We talked about it the last time. Javi Baez, I don't know what he did in the offseason, but it's just a whole different ball player, and the whole team's just really feeling it. The pitching staff's doing the job. Guys are coming through in the clutch. I mean, it's just a fun team to watch.
Yeah, right.
Getting called up. Sorry.
No, you're good. Good.
Gotta love Akil Baddoo getting called up, man. That's the story of the week to me. I made a few. I'm still waiting for him to hit a home run or do something like that, but couple amazing catches. So I thought they were done with him, to be honest. So I was shocked that they called him up and they're giving him some run. It's cool. He's just such a perfect guy to have up for 30 games a year. Provide some spark, make a few electric plays. He's badass. He's cool. He's got swag. Like, I'll take that guy on my squad any day of the week.
He's almost like a Don Kelly type of guy. Like, he's never going to be your everyday starter, but go back down to Toledo for a while. If we have an injury, come back up. We know what we're going to get from you. And he's definitely your guy. You've been talking about him for a few years, but the Javi Baez story is definitely one of the coolest ones. I know he didn't have a good series in Toronto. Right. He went like 1 of 14 or something like that with 1 home run. So hopefully, I saw someone tweet like the complete Javi Baez experience would be he's had this start and then he goes on like an 0 for 39 and it just like wipes it all out. Like, that also would not be surprising, but hopefully obviously not. Spencer Torkelson, I saw his average is back down to like 244. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, but it's like I hope we're not like coming back to earth or something like that, with some of these guys, because Torkelson is looking like the number 1 pick that we thought he was going to be. Javi Baez, obviously all the money that we're paying him, but no, I mean the pitching is what it is. I mean that's what's really dominating. Their best record in the major leagues. Hopefully they figure out this series against the Cardinals, but got to stay healthy. It's a long season.
Absolutely.
I was excited, man, to get some of these guys back. Meadows, Bierling. I love freaking Wenzel Perez. I can't wait till Wenzel Perez. He's in AAA, I think, right now. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always having fun, like a pretty good hitter. So, yeah.
Jake Rogers.
To get fully healthy. Yeah, Jake Rogers back. Take some of those Nito days away, maybe. So, yeah, it's amazing. And that's what, like, I saw a tweet. It's a good point. I mean, 2028, Carpenter, Green, Torkelson, all their contracts are up. So, I mean, just the reality of baseball, it's like got a 2 to 3 year window to go and try to win one. And then it's probably it. That's just the reality of the sport. So go and get to a game now while you got a chance. I mean, best team in baseball. It's amazing to say.
Well, especially with Skubal. We don't know if Skubal's going to be around much longer either. So.
Right.
Well, that's a guy they better lock in. That's all I can say. You got to.
It's a tough situation, dude. I get both sides of it. It's, I don't know. I mean, the prices that these other teams can offer. He's such a fan favorite that I'm with you. It'd be a big time bummer if he left. But pitching is so. At the end of the day, he's only pitching one every 7 days or once every 6 days, whatever it is. Once every 5 games. I don't know what it is. He's only pitching once every 5 games.
Yeah, but they got to. They have to learn their lesson though when they had Scherzer or Verlander, and then just let them go, man.
Right.
You keep, and it all starts on the mound.
You lose them for nothing. Like Verlander, we made a trade, ended up being basically nothing. But yeah, that's the one that really hurts. Is if Skubal just walked in free agency. But no, you want him back, and I love Skubal. He's like literally like my favorite player right now. It's just, it's tough, man. And he's got Scott Boras as the agent. It's tough to get it done.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, the thing is, and it's not my money, but it's only money, right? I mean, not like a hard salary cap in other sports.
Right.
Pay the dude. You're making enough money.
And then we're going to have to be paying $100 to go to Comerica on a Wednesday night.
Probably, right.
Right.
Oh, well. All right. Well, let's take another short break, guys, and come back and have a little prep spotlight right after this. All right. We'll jump right into it. We only have a few prep spotlights left in the spring season here, but we'll start in baseball. Chesaning clinched their 4th straight AZee championship, sweeping over AZee on Thursday, 1-0 and 7-5. Brady Sager won game 1, losing a no-hit bid in the 7th inning, but still got the shutout with 13 strikeouts. Owasso finished 2nd place in the Flint Metro, beating Goodrich 8-5 on Wednesday. Carson Moore had a pair of hits for the Trojans. They finished 11-4 in the league. In softball rather, Perry Sarah Austin tossed a no-hitter against Dansville with 7 strikeouts to go with game 1 win and 17K. She's having a hell of a season, man. And the Ramblers won the CMAC championship with an extra inning win over Langsburg. Austin went all 8 for that one for the champs with 11 strikeouts. So congratulations to the Perry Ramblers and their championship in softball. Also, track and field's wrapping up. Chesaning boys, I tell you what, they've had a hell of a class, both in track, football, baseball. The boys won the D3 regional at Bath High School, outpointing 2nd place Pewamo, Westphalia by 46 points. Caleb Walker won both the 100 and 300 hurdles, and Eric Branchick took 1st in the high jump at 6'4". Our man Ovid Elsie's Trice Tokar won the pole vault, going an even 15 foot. You know, it's coming down the stretch now. Don't want to jinx him, but going for that 4th straight title on May 31st. So we want to wish him the best there for sure. Probably odds-on favorite to win it without a doubt.
What would you put the DraftKings odds at? Minus 2,000, minus...
Probably somewhere in that range, I would guess, for sure. Yeah. And also, speaking of Ovid Elsie, Clay Powell recently broke the school record in the 800-meter run, going 1:57.56. The record was held for 49 years, so that's pretty impressive there. The Morris boys and girls took 1st in their GAC meet in Flint. It was 4 straight for the ladies. Layla Johnson won the pole vault for the Lady O's, and Oliver Long won the shot put in discus on the men's side. The New Lothrop girls took home a regional title. In Vassar, Caitlin Wendling won the 200 and 400 meter dashes. In girls soccer, Duran beat Byron 7-6. Zadie Schmidt scored all 7 goals. Can you imagine that? 7-6 the win, and the girls scores all 7 goals.
That is pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie about that. That's a good little tidbit. That's a tidbit of the week right there.
That definitely is. And finally,
we got Tedtertainment tonight. We need to have the Tedbit of the week.
Yeah.
Tedbit of the week.
I'll see what I can come up with. I may have to look into my Baseball 100 book to get some tips there. That is a impressive book too. You know, I told you guys I bought the actual hardcover book. I thought I was buying a used book on eBay. This thing showed up. I paid less than $10 for it. It's sweet, and it's 867 pages.
Get reading, man. It's a Bible.
No kidding, man. I'm glad to add it to my collection, though. I do love books. Finally, in the prep spotlight, freshman Lincoln. How about that for a golfer? Lincoln Armour fired a 42 to pace Duran past New Lothrop. So congratulations to them.
Nice.
Season's about done, guys.
I was gonna say, we're moving towards the postseason. Yeah, track and field already. Baseball, softball, spring sports coming to a close.
Yeah,
we're gonna be doing We're gonna be doing the prep pigskin preview before we know it.
Absolutely. You know, and we got the summer months coming up. We should be coming up with some little off-topic type of contest or something, you know, to kind of kill a little time.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring up some good topics.
Can't wait for high school football, man. I'm a weirdo, but I love it.
I'm ready for it too. Can't wait. All right, you guys got anything else to add?
No, I mean, my nephew Brady there at Perry, senior night coming up this week for baseball. So again, I've mentioned it a couple times. He's the only senior on the team, so
right.
That's always fun when you're the only guy out there, you know, getting the flowers and stuff on senior night.
You know what I love, and this is like, hopefully they do something like this. Like I saw a video of a kid like his last time rounding the bases, senior. Like team waits at home, he runs the bases, slides home, team dog piles. Like think about the movie Rudy. Had the high school scene where, you know, he hit the bag the last time. There's something magical about that. And I never really had something like that. Because in football, it's like, you know, our season ended in the playoffs, so you never knew when your last game was going to be. Basketball, same way. Right. I never really had that sport where you had your last rounding of the bases. You know, I don't know. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be cool to do something like that. But it's always, you know, because he was the first nephew on, you know, that side of the family. So graduating high school, like I remember him being born. You know, it's crazy to youngest nephew already graduating high school. So all that means is I'm getting old, you know.
Hey man, it flies by in a hurry. Take it from me, you know. It does fly by. How old are your kids now?
9 and 3. So yeah, about to be on to 4th grade for my daughter. So yeah, it's wild. Enjoy it while you can, Jared.
Yeah, that's right. You got something to look forward to, Jared.
Yep.
All right. I want to say special thanks to Memorial Healthcare's Wellness Center. Join the Summer Shape Up Challenge. Goes from June 4th to July 30th. Follow the Wellness Center on Facebook for more details. Also want to thank our other partners, AZee Branding Solutions, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori Shook & Associates Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Rivals Taphouse and Grille, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, Shiawassee County Fair, and ALS of Michigan. I misspoke last week. I did mention that Chi-Town will be at the Tin Roof down in Detroit, May 31st. That's right adjacent to Comerica Park, but the Tigers are on the road that day, so there is no home game. So I had to correct. It's
going to be awesome, but it'll come sooner or later. They'll have a home. They'll have a game at home.
What did I see too? They posted something. I know Faster Horses is no more, but there's another country festival happening that they're playing in.
At MIS.
Yeah.
I think they played in that. I think maybe last year as well. It looked awesome. Like you talk about, like it looks like it's literally like they're like, you know, Leonard Skinner or something. It's like an awesome crowd. It looks like a freaking blast.
Yeah.
Huh. We'll have to stay tuned for that as well. I haven't seen the boys yet this summer, so I got to check it out. I might go to that Tin Roof show down in Detroit.
I will be there. I will definitely be there.
All right. Let's make a date. Peace and love, everybody. Be kind. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time.